Hey guys, welcome back to another today's video. In today's video, it's going to be a brand new video, part of my video series of breaking up the two-party duopoly. In this new video series, this is going to be talking about another independent candidate that's actually running for U.S. Senate in 2022, and his name is Evan McMullin, running to replace Mike Lee to represent the great state of Utah in the United States Senate. And he was actually the former 2016 presidential candidate that ran for president back in 2016 against Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. And he ran as an independent candidate, and he received around 21 or 20% of the vote. But yeah, he's running to actually represent the great state of Utah, not as a Republican, not as a Democrat, but as a patriot that's committed to defending our nation and changing our politics for the better. And in his campaign to Tuesday via Twitter, he simply quotes, and as I quote him, "America has reached a crossroads. Extremism, division, and conspiracy now threaten our quality of life in democratic republic. In Utah, we have a better way. It's more compassionate, selfless, and independent. That's why I'm running to represent Utah in the U.S. Senate. Join us." That is exactly why he's running for the U.S. Senate seat. He wants to actually fix the major problems. He wants to actually bring people together. He wants to heal the division and cool the political temperatures, defeat political extremism, defeat conspiracy theories, but that threaten our quality of life in democratic republic. He wants to bring people together. He wants to be your voice, Utah, that's compassionate, that's selfless, and that's independent, free from any party bosses, that's all coming together regardless of party affiliation and regardless of where we tilt on the ideological spectrum, to find common ground solutions that we can all agree on to truly make our nation a better place for all Americans. And before I begin with this, I want to give out a huge shout out to the California RCV Coalition. This type of coalition is like More Choice San Diego, but unlike More Choice San Diego, this is actually helping to advance ranked choice voting all across the state of California. And when it comes to they want to advance it for all city elections, for state legislature elections, for governor elections, for statewide elections, which is governor, lieutenant governor. And they also want to expand it for presidential and congressional and U.S. Senate elections, simply because they believe ranked choice voting is needed more than ever. And I 100% agree with this, simply because we need to bring people together. We need to bring candidates together. We need to heal the partisan divide. We need more competition. We need to value a system in our democracy where candidates have to reach out. They have to broaden their coalition in order to get elected, and not just win elections just with 20 or 38% of the vote. They need to win with a majority of the vote. They need the consent of the governed and the consent of the majority. And that's the two principles of democracy: consent of the governed and majority rule. And that's what California RCV Coalition is fighting for. They're fighting for things like ranked choice voting and multi-member districts. And as you may know, ranked choice voting is an alternative voting method. It's a new type of electoral system. Well, not necessarily for some of our city governments, like the city of Portland in Maine, and also in San Francisco and Santa Fe. Including in Minneapolis, they use ranked choice voting, and NYC was also in their first mayoral election in 2021. They used ranked choice voting for the first time. And what ranked choice voting is, it's simply a alternative voting method where instead of voters voting for one candidate, they have the option to rank all the candidates in order of their preference, however you like them. And you rank your most favorite candidate as number one, your second favorite candidate as number two, your third favorite candidate as number three, and your fourth favorite candidate as number four. And as we count your votes, we first count all voters' first choice votes, whoever you rank as number one first. And if one candidate in the first preference votes reaches a clear majority, which is 50% or more of the total votes, well, he or she is declared the winner and the election is over. But if no one breaks the 50% threshold, which usually happens with when there's multiple candidates in the race, think the 1992 presidential election and 1996, where Bill Clinton never was elected with a majority of the vote, never received 50% of the vote in the national popular vote. Then the candidate with the fewest votes under instant runoff voting will be eliminated from the race, and those voters that selected that candidate first as their first choice will have their next choices counted. Which means under ranked choice voting, if your first choice preference doesn't win and has limited amount of support, your vote is not wasted. It just moves over to your next choice, and that tally will keep continuing until one candidate wins an outright majority. And advocates that argue about this, and why I'm simply for ranked choice voting, simply because in order for a candidate to win, he should always have majority support. That's part of democracy. He should be more focused on broadening his coalition, because if you can't broaden your coalition, if you can't reach out to more and more voters, then you really don't deserve to be elected into public office. You need to make dialogue with people. You need to communicate. You need to reach out instead of just engaging in negative attack ads by discouraging your opponent's voters to not turn out for your opponent's candidate, and making sure you're maximizing your passionate base to come out and vote for you. You have to, instead of doing that, you have to reach out. You have to make consensus. You have to actually broaden your base, not just your most passionate base. You have to reach out to your opponent's voters, to every single voter, in order to win the election. And part of this is actually very true in the most recent elections. If we look at the Virginia gubernatorial election, Governor-elect Glenn Youngkin became the Republican nominee in May via a statewide nominating process using instant runoff voting, and thanks to this, the Republicans were able to actually pick up. They were able to pick up the Virginia governor's race. They were able to pick up the lieutenant governor's race and the attorney general's race. They were able, simply because they were able to actually build and broaden their coalition all across the great Commonwealth of Virginia. And that is all due thanks to instant runoff voting, or in other words, ranked choice voting. And that's what's able to actually that's what's able to actually defeat the extremes from the far right and from the far left, as well. This also benefited New York City in a way back in the 2021 mayoral election, in which Democratic Eric Adams, instead of catering to the far left's proposal of defunding the police, he stuck to the basic issues that every single NYC voter cared about and was rewarded in an absolute landslide. He focused on pragmatic approaches, not ideological approaches. He talked about the issues that every single voter in your NYC cared about, which is high crime rates in NYC, and people like Adams and Young, they were able to appeal to the greatest number of voters. They were able to broaden their base, and they focused more on kitchen table issues rather than catering to the extremes from the far right and from the far left. And that's what benefited them. And that's simply what will happen under ranked choice voting elections. And simply put, in New York City, an overwhelming majority of voters, 77%, want to use ranked choice voting again, and 95% found that ranking their ballots is simple and it's very, very, very easy. And simply put, ranked choice voting will create a system where it forces candidates to compete, not to compete in a battle royale around ideas and what we as candidates are offering. They have to actually offer policies and positions that they're running on. They have to be more policy oriented, and also actually running on something of what they will bring to the voters in every state, in every district, in every city. This is the benefit of ranked choice voting, and it's why simply put, is what will truly build a better democracy for all Americans and for all Californians. And that's why California RCV Coalition believes ranked choice voting is what our democracy needs more than ever. That will heal the partisan divide. That will give voters far more choices, and they can vote for their favorite candidates without fearing that in doing so, that they're going to be a spoiler and they're going to accidentally split the vote. Ranked choice voting is what we need more than ever. And if you live in California, and if you don't, which is okay, consider donating to them. Donate to them today. Chip in as much money as you can, because a little bit helps. It doesn't have to be a lot of contributions. It can just be a little bit here and there to actually help the California RCV Coalition, to help them spread their message and recruit volunteers, and to support helping to bring ranked choice voting all across the state of California for local elections, for statewide elections, for state legislature elections, and for finally federal elections. And if you want to join the movement, get involved. I will leave their website in the description below. So if you want to get involved and donate to them, if you want to sign up to get the latest updates, I will leave their website in the description below. And honestly, my opinion, join this movement, because if you believe in democracy, if you believe in if you want to bring people together again, if you want to heal the partisan divide, ranked choice voting is this voting method. You can vote for your favorite candidates without fearing that in doing so, they're going to be a spoiler and you're accidentally going to help elect the candidate you like the least. Ranked choice voting, in a good way, will allow you to vote for your favorite candidate, and then you can vote for a backup candidate, so your vote is not wasted. You're ranking your candidates, and that will ultimately, in my opinion, bring people together, and where they're ultimately think that everyone has good ideas that will truly make our state and make our country a better place for all Americans. So now let's go back to what the main topic of this video was, and that was Evan McMullin's Senate run for United States Senate. And just like the California RCV Coalition, I will leave the Evan McMullin's campaign website in the description below. Just in case if you do live in Utah or don't live in Utah, you can still donate and join his team to help him unseat Mike Lee from the state of Utah. So now let's talk about Evan McMullin as a person. Meet Evan McMullin. Evan McMullin is a proud Utahn, former undercover CIA officer and chief policy director in Congress, who ran for president in 2016 as an independent. Evan grew up in a family, like many in America, one that struggled to put food on the table and heat their home in the winter. At an early age, Evan learned the value of hard work and to always honor family and country. Inspired by books and movies at age 15, Evan contracted the CIA and asked to join. He was told to call back when he was older. After graduating from high school and serving a 2-year Mormon mission to Brazil, the agency recruited Evan into its student training program while he was attending Birmingham Young University. He alternated semesters between training at CIA headquarters in Langley, Virginia, and school until he graduated. During those years, Evan spent time in Israel and Jordan studying Arabic and working for a refugee resettlement. From a young age, Evan learned of similar histories in his own family. His mother's grandparents had left Poland around the time of World War II, seeking greater opportunity in America. And nearly 100 years earlier, Evan's paternal ancestors were driven into the Great Plains and the mountains of Utah by religious persecution. After completing his CIA service, earning an MBA at Wharton, and working in the private sector, Evan was called back to service, advising Republicans and Democrats in Congress on national security and on other issues from 2013 through 2016. In 2017, Evan co-founded Stand Up Republic, a 501c4 nonprofit organization which led efforts across the country to unite Republicans and Democrats against extremist movements and politicians in defense of American democracy. Evan believes America has reached a crossroads between chaotic decline and continued progress towards a more perfect union. Political extremes don't represent the majority of Utahns or Americans more broadly, yet they've polarized the nation and now prevent it from overcoming major challenges, from droughts to forest fires, water shortages, the rising cost of healthcare, and a never-ending pandemic. America requires leaders who unite instead of divide, finding solutions based on truth and common ground, with an eye towards service, honor, and civility, coupled with a deep love of country and conviction about what America must be. Evan McMullin is poised and ready to serve his service as Utah's next United States Senator. What a great man. He has served. He knows that he has a good value towards public service. He has served in the CIA. He has called back to service in helping to advise both parties on to help them in Congress, helping them on finding common ground solutions on national security and other issues. He helped lead efforts to actually unite both members of Republicans and Democrats against extremist movements to help protect American democracy. That is that's the Evan McMullin of what he will be as Utah's next United States Senator. He will be that independent voice. He will bring people together. He's not going to answer to some party boss. He's not going to answer to some party extremist. He's going to be that new and courageous leader to help break the mold, to help break this partisan gridlock and divisiveness in our politics that's plaguing Washington today. He's going to help set aside all of our differences to heal that divide and face what we are truly up against. He is truly, in my opinion, as what these people say, he is the right person to spark this movement. He is truly a man of principle and character, and he's needed in this troubled time simply because, as I've been seeing on the news, this country is so deeply, deeply divided, where Republicans and Democrats, there's no interest in one to work together anymore. There's no interest to want to compromise and collaborate with one another to find common ground solutions on the major issue that's plaguing our country's time, like the rising cost of healthcare, water shortages, natural disasters, the issues that matter to the majority of Americans is something where Republicans and Democrats are completely ignoring today, because they're only incentivized to serve the extremes on both sides. This is exactly what Evan McMullin wants to change, and why he's running for a U.S. Senate to replace Mike Lee, because he wants to actually build on our strengths to make our future a brighter place for this great country. And he wants to build a much stronger democracy. He's not going to serve the extremes. He's going to serve you. He will be an independent voice for the people of Utah. He will be that voice which will bring Republicans and Democrats together, independents together, all people together, and unite them to find common ground solutions that we as Americans and you as Utahns believe that matters to us the most. Because we want affordable health care. We want to see policies that actually curb the spread of inflation, that cracks down on the border crisis, that cracks down on the supply chain crisis, and so on. We want those issues solved. We don't want the same old partisan bickering with Republican Democrats just playing partisan games. We want people to work together. We want to find common ground solutions to truly make the quality of life for all Americans, and even you Utahns, a better place for all people, where we as Americans believe that together, as much as that we believe when Utahns and Americans are united, we are completely unstoppable. And we are truly making not just our country and our state a better place, but we're making the world a better place when we all are coming together to make everyone's life better for all people. And that's what Evan McMullin will be. And he's the type of person we need more than ever. We need a true independent senator that's not going to answer to some party bosses. He's going to answer to you. He's going to fight for you. He will be a winner that will win for the Utahns, for every single Utahns. He's going to heal the divide and actually address the issues that we as Americans care about today. And it's why I encourage every single Utahn to actually consider voting for him, because ultimately, in my opinion, real change begins with all of us. That will truly bring a new kind of leadership that will truly renew America for generations to come. So you guys in the comment section below, talk about it. What do you really think about Evan McMullin as a candidate? And if you do live in Utah, do you think he's the type of person that your state needs more than ever to send to Washington? I truly think he does, simply because we need more people like him that will not just work with conservatives or Republicans, but will work with liberals, Democrats, Republicans, libertarians, independents, and so on. People from all political spectrums, setting aside all of our differences. We need people out there to bring people together. We need to bring a sense of collaboration, compromises, open debate back to Washington, D.C. again. And that's what he will do. And when we do that, we're truly improving upon our healthcare. We're truly improving upon our education. We're bringing real infrastructure reform. We're curbing the spread of inflation. We're addressing climate change. And we're truly creating a better, and we're truly building a brighter future for this great country, and even strengthening our democracy for generations to come. So comment down below. What do you think about Evan McMullin? Would it be someone that you consider voting for? And if I did live in Utah, I would consider supporting him, simply because we need leaders like him more than ever to really step up to the plate and stand up against the Democrats and Republicans in Washington, to truly get them to understand that we don't want them to play partisan games or bicker. We don't want them to bicker with each other all the time in Washington. We want things to get done. We want them to get good legislation done to improve upon our quality of lives, and not just them catering to the extremes. We want you to serve us. We want you to represent us. We want you to address the problems that everyday Americans are feeling right now. That's what Evan McMullin will be. He will be a fighter for everyday, hardworking families to gain the brighter future that America and Utah can so dream of. And it's why I encourage everyone to go and support Evan McMullin's Senate run as the next United States Senator from the great state of Utah. Because we will truly not just renew America, but we will reimagine America for generations to come. So once again, guys, talk about him in the comment section below, and talk about ranked choice voting. Would it be a movement that you would consider backing, and would you support Evan McMullin's Senate run if you live in the state of Utah? I know I would, for instance, for me. But talk about him. What do you think about him as a candidate? I am 100% endorsing him on this channel. I think he's the person that we need more than ever. And plus, he also supports ranked choice voting, because we need it more than ever to bring people together, to bring everyone together, to actually bring people, to bring a sense of bipartisanship and compromise and collaboration and unity back to Washington again. So once again, guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and comment down below of what do you think about McMullin's Senate run, and what do you think about the California RCV Coalition? If you do want to support Evan McMullin and the California RCV Coalition, I'll leave their websites in the description below of the video below, so you guys can check them out. And if you want to join both of their teams and donate money to actually help them fulfill their goals, consider doing it. And I encourage everyone to do it, because we can all be agents of change that will truly reimagine a bold future and a bold new ideal that will truly renew American democracy and our country for generations to come. So once again, guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below. And until next time, guys, this is the Young Centrist, and I am out.
Here at home, we have a better way. The Utah way. It's more compassionate, selfless, and independent. The kind of leadership that sticks to principle, but still finds common ground to solve problems. It's how we prosper together in this desert. I'm Evan McMullin. I'm running to replace Mike Lee and represent Utah and our values in the United States Senate. I'm not running as a Republican or a Democrat, but as a patriot committed to defending our nation. I invite everyone, regardless of party, to join me in bringing a new brand of leadership to Washington, to secure America's future for our children and generations to come. Together, we will renew America.